afternoon. I'm gonna make a little video on changing rear discs and pads on an Alfa Giulietta because I've got to do them, so I might as well do a little video for you to see. Then you'll know what gear you're gonna need, or if you think you can do the job yourself, or whether you should take it to the garage. If you're not sure, after you watch this video, take it to a garage. Brakes are pretty important. So firstly, jack the car up, throw an axle stand under. On my home, so I just got my little jack and an axle stand. First off, there is a 5 or 6 mil Allen key that holds that in, holds the disc on. If you just leave it while it's all back together, if you put the handbrake on, it should crack off. Mine rounded off. I had to hammer a T40 Torx in to crack it off. So be warned, they can be awkward. Another thing that can be awkward is the carrier bolts. They're Allen keys as well, so be very careful. Make sure you got the right size and decent quality stuff, because if it goes wrong, it's a pain in the arse. But first, so once you got that off, there's two 13s. Just get a little ratchet or a spanner, crack these off. I've already done it. There's two 13s. Hold the caliper onto the slides. These two off. Put them somewhere safe so you don't lose them. Take that bottom one out, just like that. So that's them. Out. These sides should be free. As you can see, you might not be able to see, but can you see? Will it focus? No, it won't. It should be free. You're able to move them nice and freely, which I can, which is good. If that can be sometimes cause problems with the brakes hanging on, because the slides are seized and it's not letting the caliper move freely. So once that's done, knock your handbrake off, obviously. I can't do that. Shut the handbrake off. This should, sorry, I thought someone's at the door, should wiggle off. If it doesn't, get like a pry bar and just work it from the top and the bottom. So if it doesn't come off, just turn this back on, just like a demonstration. So if it doesn't come off, not free, pry bar on the top between the carrier and the caliper, move it back, do the same on the bottom, just wiggle it off, it'll come off eventually. Pads, just try and shimmy them out. This is why we're changing them, because this pad's cracked and delaminated, and also the discs are knackered. I'll show you the disc on the other side. That's from it sitting. It's been sitting like 6 months because DVLA lost the logbook when we moved house. So that's those two out. Next thing you want to do, move your caliper out the way, something like that. Be careful you don't kink or damage the flexi, but that's perfectly fine. There's two Allen bolts in the back of the head on. I'll get light. There goes. There's two Allen bolts. That one there, and that one there. It is a 8mm. Number 80. Where's my 8mm gone? There. Yeah, they're an 8mm. They are dirty and they are tight, so be careful. Give them a wire brush off, which I'll do it now. Wire brush off. What I like to do as well, tap with a knocking stick. Once you've got your bit in, just send it home with a knocking stick. Right, so there we go. This is what I'm using. 6mm on a 1/2 inch snap-on ratchet. Breaker bar would do it. This is just the same size as the breaker bar I've got. So, and beware, they are bloody tight. So if you're trying to do it with a pretty little Allen key, like a quarter drive set, can you imagine? You're not going to get anywhere near as much controlled leverage on, which you want when you're working with rusty Allen keys, like Allen bolts like this. Nice and gentle. I recommend holding the top, make sure it's square. I'll try and like holding it into the thing, nice and square, and pushing nice steady pressure on, so you're not jerking it, because that's when you could round out the heads. So once the carrier's off, I like to put the bolts back in place so you can see the big Allen bolt, and if they're round, they're a nightmare. This is what I mean about the slides. These should be nice and free like this. There we go. Nice and free. Just give them a quick spin around. Make sure the grease is nice and evenly distributed. That's that. And disc off. inside of discs always usually work worse than the outside of discs, so you might be surprised. I'll quickly show you this one. This is one of the worst discs I've seen for a long time. And I'll show you. Yeah. That's all just from sitting, annoyingly. DVLA. Thank you. So once that's done, next thing you want to do is caliper down. Next thing you want to do, you have a quick spin. That's your ABS sensor if you ever need to change it. So give it a quick wire brush off, make sure it's clean. This mounting face for the disc. And the next thing you want to do is what I like to do, should I say, is with a caliper. If I can move this light so we can see a bit better. There we go. With the caliper here, because these are on a screw with the handbrake, you want to do, what I like to do anyway, is pull the boot up a bit so you can get the straw in. This is what I mean. Bit of lube in, and helps it go back, helps it stop from, prevents it seizing, because they can do, especially with these calipers, because they're an alley case and with a steel piston and they throw it together, and it can be known to. So that's that. Next thing you want to do is we'll get the brake pad wind back to kit. So this is the type of kit you need to wind back the rear calipers on these, or most cars. These are relatively cheap to buy if you want to buy one, but you can't do the job without it. So you've got different ends which go onto a magnetic screw piece with a back plate which pushes against the caliper, and you wind the caliper back in. I'll show you how it kind of works, but I can't film it because I need two hands. So I'll just do this. So there you go. You've got your back plate which pushes against the caliper. You've got your end which you select to fit your piston. That goes on your piston. That goes onto there, and then you tighten that screw up, and it'll push the piston back. So I need two hands for this. I can't do it one-handed. I'm film at least doing one turn of it because you need to see. So you get your hand on your handle. That's nipped up, not tight, just enough pressure so it holds it in place. And then you just grab your handle. My finger's in the way. Grab a handle and turn, and it'll wind itself back in on the screw for the handbrake. Another thing I should mention is sometimes when you send the piston back, there's air trapped in the seal. So just grab a seal, lift it up, you'll hear it go psh. You'll know because it'll be going into a balloon or it'll be twisting. If it's twisting, lift it up, break the seal, and put some more grease, oil in. Make sure the seal's free, otherwise it'll be twisting. You could tear the seal. The next bit, I just like to do this before I put the disc on because it gives you more room, especially if you're working in a cramped corner like I am right now. Knock the anti-squeal shims out. So keep a hold of these. Sometimes you don't get new ones, sometimes you do. I like to keep a hold of them just in case you don't, or if you know you do, you can get rid of them. And then wire brush, give your caliper a clean off, and your pads fit. And if it's a little bit crusty or lumpy or bumpy or the pads are tight, get a file and just take a little bit off. I don't know, see if I've got a file to show you. Just a Raj and Mara, I just use a file, I don't have one here. See that you just get in where the grooves are and just clean them off. Make sure they're nice and clean. I don't have a file, I don't need one luckily. So once you get your disc out, some of them have an oily coating on. I've already cleaned this one off. Line up the hole, so once you get that in, just wind that in a bit loose. 2 seconds ago. So once you got that in, it doesn't need to be tight, just get it in place in situ, nip it up, don't go silly with it. It's only to hold the disc in place when the wheel's not on, because the wheel bolts hold that on. So once you've got that disc on, get your carrier, bit of copper grease where you've just cleaned off. They're the old shims. There's these pads, these blueprint pads, comes with a new set of shims. So the tags face outwards, push them into place. I can't do it one-handed and you hold the caliper. Then next bit, put some copper slip on your bolts. Put the caliper on, carrier on. I need 2 hands for that. So once you've got the carrier on, get your new pads. If you've got the ones with wear indicators on, they go on the inside. So you just put a little bit of copper grease on the contact points, and then slip them in. So yep, that's your inside one. This runs through the hole in the caliper there. I'll show that in a second. And the pads just literally slip in. Sometimes it's easier to put them in long ways and push them in like that. I don't know whether that showed on the video or not, but yep. So then next, again, oh hold on, I'm taking that off now. So if yours has the wear indicators on and this one's been cut off beforehand, unclip the tag. There's a tag there. That'll undo the wire. Knock that out the way. And this is just slid onto this little piece of tin, bracket, whatever. Just wiggle it until it comes off. It is awkwardly tight, like. You'll need two hands. There you go, so that's off. It's just slides on with them on through them grooves. So push this through the centre. Make sure it's not caught. And it goes through there. Take your clip, point it down over, and slide it onto them slots. There's a tag on it. Make sure the tag's facing the right way for the plug in. Your wear indicator, like that. Hunky dory. Push your sides back as you push the caliper on. It's a lot easier if you've got two hands. So like that. Get them up. You might need a 15mm to hold that. 2 seconds. 15mm into that bolt there, onto the slide. 13mm, and I'm tightening, but it's the same if you're loosening. So if you're loosening, you just go the other way. Hold that one, crack the bolt off. Sometimes you need to, sometimes you don't. Lift up, yep. All hunky dory. Give that a clean off. Right, a little bit of copper slip on. It just helps the wheel stop from, especially if you've got alloys, because again, alloy and steel corrode together. A little bit of copper slip on the hub, on the spigot. Your honky dory, way to go. Throw your wheel back on, make sure it's all torqued up. Pump your brake pedal up when you get in the car, and away you go. Hope it helps.